What up, everybody? This is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party, and I'm here for another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. What up, everybody? This is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party, and I'm here for another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. And I am joined by the one and only GallaGiant. GallaGiant fam, thank you for coming to the studio and sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me. What a beautiful studio this is.
I got to say, shout out to Cool Vibe. She gifted this to us. Totally unexpected. So I really love this build. There's been times I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something. I'm like, nope, we're keeping this build. We're keeping this build. So shout out to Cool Vibes.
It inspired me to do my windows with glares. I was like, man, I need glares on my windows.
We'll come to it later, but GallaGiant is an amazing, a phenomenal builder in here. So something I've learned here, I don't like to actually introduce the guests as far as saying what you do here. I've learned to actually put it on you, because that way, if you miss something, then it's on you. It's not on me. So I tell you what, GallaGiant, introduce yourself to the people. Tell them a little about yourself.
What's up, peeps? My name is GallaGiant. I am an avatar dude in the Metaverse, and I'm a builder, host, and creator of things that come across my brain.
I like that summation. And we'll talk about it a little later. Some of the amazing things, some of the amazing builds, games, and immersive things, I should say, that I've actually had a chance to experience here in the Metaverse from him. So I like to ask this to everybody, what initially brought you here to VR?
So a colleague of mine was telling me VR, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out one day. And then he put me on Richie's playing experience in his living room, and I literally couldn't even do it. Like, my legs were turning to jello, and I was like, what the fuck? And I've done some sketchy things in my life, some scarier things, and I was like, I can't beat my brain. And then from that moment forward, I was like, all right, I'm going to check this VR thing out, because that is like, if you can't beat your brain, it's real. You know what I mean? So like, just the possibilities, I just saw them immediately and felt them.
I like that term, beat your brain. I like that term.
Yeah, I was like, come on, I'm in the living room. What the fuck is good? Can I curse on here?
Be my guest.
What the fuck is going on right now? And I was just turning the jello, maybe a little poo, because I was a little scared, and it was just very scary.
A little bit of clenching. Like, I've seen videos of people who, there was this one video where a person is thinking that they're on a beam balancing, and it's above the sky. And then it's like knocks out the way, and the person freaks out and they panic because they're literally thinking they're about to fall. And people to see sometimes like, oh, how can it be? How can it be? I promise you, if you put a headset on, the depth perception that we have and the spatial awareness, it's real. It's real when it comes to that. It's real. Yeah, you're definitely beating your brain, because I promise you, if you jump off the top of a building, like playing around, you get that in your stomach for a quick second. It actually feels like, whoa, I just jumped off a building.
Yes. So immediately after that, I was like, I need to find more scary stuff, because I think I can handle scary movies. So I did some scarier things in here, like the videos that are 360 degrees, and same story. A couple of them were pretty damn good that I was pretty afraid. I was like, all right, I want to be a part of this.
No, so I got to ask you this. So now I'm kind of getting an idea of maybe where some of the experience that we'll talk about a little bit later for your game show. So that kind of gives me an idea, because we all have different experiences here. So I kind of start to put the little pieces together here. So that makes sense. All right. Yeah. So let's kind of segue a little bit into your show. I'll let you tell the people about it. So, but what really inspired you to become a game show host, I should say, also an event host here in the Metaverse? And how did you get started? And I'm even going to give a preference for this. And so I wonder, is there anything that you may do IRL that made you decide that you want to do stuff like this here in VR?
Hey, so
Nice
I do
little segue.
IRL events. So that could be anything from a concert to a wedding. Weddings are very slim with us. You know, you gotta kind of want to do some crazy entrances. Maybe you want to have like an Ibiza type DJ with lasers and shit shooting everywhere. We're looking for more of like, we want to use our toys, I guess is where I'm getting at it. You know, so we got lights, we have stages, sound systems, you name it. You know, we ended up with it at some point. And all these things just happened over time because at the beginning I was just a promoter and I had to rent these things. And slowly but surely, those rental dudes were the only ones making the money. So, you know, natural selection, got to cut them out, boom, gone. And then, you know, did my own thing. And it's been a huge learning experience. And moving in here to the metaverse, I mean, I can make a stage yesterday and just load into it. You know, I don't have to sweat today. I don't have to run cables. I don't have to figure it out. I can literally just make it and then adjust it from there, which is something that we don't really get to do in the real world. You know, when we set up an event, it's usually for the day. So I'll work on it probably for like a month or two beforehand and then never again because we're on to the next thing. But in these worlds, I'm able to just like see it, adjust it, do it again, or maybe never do it again. Some of those games in VR. But yeah, it's just been a huge learning experience, and I feel like it's just opened up side of me I had no idea was there. No idea.
Now, I've tried to tell this to people before, and me knowing a little bit about your background outside of here, that's kind of why I want to spend a little time talking about that. I use an example. There's an artist by the name of Cosmic Kai. And Cosmic Kai has had one of the most immersive concert experiences I've ever seen here in VR. And during this concert, opening song, he comes out flying over our heads in a flying saucer.
Oh, yeah. Kai,
Right?
we need to work together if you're listening to this. That sounds amazing.
And I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect on brand for him. It was just an amazing experience. Now, that same type of experience, you and I both know, if you try to do that outside the headset, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars it would have been just to do that one thing. Yeah. So can you tell the people a little bit more of how you're able to create this stuff in VR for, let's say, pennies on the thousands, if that, compared to what happens outside the headset?
So outside the headset, you know, we're dealing with like, let's use Kai's example. Like if we were going to make something fly above the crowd, there's a bunch of permits we're going to have to pull for that. There's definitely a bunch of math we got to do for weight of those things. And then like there's all the people who fucked up before us that made sure that we're going to have to make this thing super duper safe. So that means putting truss everywhere so that thing has a clear path. And like having the right people there. So I always say the more stuff we do, the more fire department and fire marshals that are going to show up. So in here, I mean, I could build like MK Ultra is a club that I have. I can build something insane, hang things above your head and not have to worry about, permits and things like that. But of course, at the end of the day, we don't have to worry about maybe that thing falling on you. Now, granted, in the real world, I've never had anything fall on anyone. I'm just going to throw it out there. But that's always a thought that you have, like the heavier it is, I don't really want it over the crowd.
Not at all. You're on edge the whole time the performance is going on, trying to make sure.
Yeah, like, please I don't know stay about on that. The X. Please stay on that X.
And you figure we didn't even mention like insurance amongst other things just to do something like that.
Yeah.
Ridiculous cost to try to attempt something like that.
And speaking of insurance, let's say we're going to do a spaceship. Maybe my insurance company doesn't think that's cool. They can stop me from doing it. They could literally say like, nah, we don't insure spaceships because of this and that. And then literally we won't be able to do it. But in this world, we can just do it, and it's not dangerous. It's not unsafe in any way, form. It's just fun, creative, and kind of a flex, which is awesome.
Sometimes it's hard to completely quantize what we're doing here. Like it's so vast. It's still sometimes mind numbing to me just to kind of think of it. So when it comes to immersive experiences, let's kind of slide a little bit. A few weeks ago, and I've been checking out it several different times, but I had a chance to be on your game show. And I've seen a lot of game shows and experiences here in the metaverse, but I can't say I've seen a ton of them like yours. I think of yours as our traditional game shows with a twist. Like you may see sometimes some of the, as an example, kind of crazier games within games that you may see on some of, like, as an example, some of the Asian game shows and such that you would see. And when I first saw your show, that's like the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, this is a merge of all of that, and you brought it into that metaverse. So I tell you what, let's start to talk a little bit about the anything goes. If I'm correct, anything goes.
Anything goes.
VR. That's want to make sure I had it right. Anything goes VR. An amazing show. Tell the people, for one, what prompted you to do it, what makes you do it, and just about the show in general.
Well, what made me do it is I am new to anything like this. That means I'm new to building and making art in any shape or form. I'm new to scripting, so I needed a way to continuously practice. And sometimes I like to think that I set myself up, so I have to do it. And it's kind of like been a reoccurring theme in my life. Sometimes I just make something and then I have to keep on chasing it. You know, like, and anything goes is one of those things. So week to week, I say these games are going to be totally different next week. So therefore I have to go and make it. And this is cool because like now I'm scripting, I'm thinking different each time. How do I make it different than last time? You know, what does this trigger need to do? What does this script need to do? And it's just been a huge learning experience because, you know, I still probably would take a little bit longer than the average guy to build one of these things, but it's my way of just continuously practicing. And I think we're on like 7 months. So like that's 7 months of me scripting that I probably wouldn't have done, you know. In these other worlds, you know how it is. You script and then you're done. It works. You're going to come in and use it. You know, you don't really need to keep on. So I needed a way to just keep it flowing somehow. And it's kind of a blessing, but also kind of a curse.
I like that. I never thought of it, you doing it that way. But yeah, giving you a little bit of built-in accountability where you're like, look, I need to level up every week. I need to keep doing something.
Yeah.
So I won't say from a guest point of view, I'm going to say from the audience point of view, now I actually have a better understanding why the games keep leveling up, because every week you're challenging. Yeah. And something I think that's cool with the show, and it's anybody I think that actually is a part of the show that comes through on any regular basis, is you never really know what to expect when it comes to the games or the script. And as you said that, since you're constantly learning, can you expound on how maybe potentially sometimes we, or maybe you, don't know what's going to happen once the game starts?
So it's a big space. So we are pushing horizons to the limit. I think I always operate between 7%, which means that's all I have left is 7 out of 100 left to add things. So like by the time I finish, I'm probably over a little bit. And is that going to glitch? Is that going to cause the world to restart? And then if it does, what does that mean for the contraption and the person that's in it? So it's funny because like recently somebody asked me like, hey, are those glitches real? And I just kind of like rolled with it. And I was like, yeah, you'll never know, you know? And I'm like, okay. And I went and texted Deb immediately. I was like, oh man, I thought everyone knew that they were real, but I guess they don't, you know? Because me and Deb, after the first time that it happened, we kind of sat backstage and we're like, all right, how do we flow with the water when this happens again? Because it's not like your boy's going to all of a sudden have some smarts and it's not going to happen next week. We know it's going to keep happening for a little bit until I figure it out, you know? So we've learned to roll with it. And I think it's become a part of it, honestly.
Not think, it definitely has, man. It's a nice, like people like to use the word organic. It's the nice organic thing that kind of came. You didn't sit here and try to push it. Oh, we want to do these things with glitches. Nope, glitches would just kind of happen here or there. Hey, let's keep it going. Same thing you got to do outside the headset. Anybody who does live events, you know, something happens, it doesn't stop the show. You have to figure out a way to adapt right then and keep it moving. So another thing that we're able to do here in VR, and it does make for some funny and creative times with that.
And something I say to people in the real world, because I'm one of those guys, I'll see someone who's new and I'll believe in them and I'll put them in front of a shit ton of people immediately, like make them skip a step. So like in the real world, it's very common for me to kind of hype people up and give them some words of wisdom. And usually what those words are, you are the only one who knows that you fucked up. Everyone else has no idea. You feel that. I don't feel that. So just keep going. You know, if you pass that one speed bump of that feeling that we all get when we fuck up, which is heightened when you're on stage, no one's going to know. Just keep rolling and you'll see that here soon. And that's kind of what we're doing in there is like, we're just going to keep rolling with it. Even though it feels horrible. Yeah.
No, you are doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job, whether it's a glitch or not. It's an amazing show, And just as far as some of the variances of games, I mean, it may be a maze. It may be some type of skills challenge. I remember like one night, shout out to Second Life Rich. I remember they were like flying in the air and there were these rings that they were trying to throw these balls through. And it wasn't like a steady area that they were in because they were constantly being shook around in the world. So yeah, it's some definitely fun games I've seen in there. So keep doing what you're doing with that.
And I'm glad you brought up Second Life because I think he was our second or third episode. And like, if everyone knows Second Life, you know, he's the same guy. He's very knowledgeable. But like in this situation, I heard Second Life having the time of his life. And I remember leaving that show being like, this was dope because of that. You know, hearing that laughter and the general excitement was just so cool. And the whole show I was ragging on too. I was like, yo, Rich, ain't no Second Life Rich. There's going to be some breaks in here. So it was a good show. Good show. And that,
like, shout out to all the guests I've seen on there, like him, Meta Clean. Like truly, when you're on there, I don't care how much business, how focused you are in here in the metaverse, whatever the case may be. When you go on that show, it will definitely be a fun time. You'll definitely feel like a kid on that show. You'll definitely feel like a kid on that show.
That's awesome. I like that.
Definitely. So, since I know you've been building for your show, you've been building some other experiences, I should say. I know you're very into immersive experiences here. So what do you think the trends will be, the future trends, the things that we should look with, the path that we should go into pushing forward when it comes to these VR experiences? What do you think we should be going after?
Audience. Because right now what we're doing is we're doing somewhat what we do in the real world. And that's like having people show up to a show. So like what we need to be focusing on is how does that audience become part of this show? Because they can now. And we have all these abilities, you know, if they're trying to troll us or if maybe they're not the ideal person to be there, we have all the abilities to get them out of there. So there's no reason that you couldn't have just this like chaotic or super cool moment that the audience was actually participating in. And like something we've recently done is like, if you missed your target, you end up in the audience. Like, so that like when people are watching, like you fly over their head, holy shit, he's still coming. You know, like the dude just falls into the audience and then he has to like run off the stage, which is kind of weird, but it's kind of cool.
Been
you know? Oh, that was you. Yeah, that's right. That's right. With the glowing door. So I got some cool audience things that are coming and I'm super pumped. It's a little bit above me, so I'm still trying to figure out how to script all this stuff. But like I am focused on those people there because I want them to have just as much fun as we are on that stage.
And we can definitely tell whether you're in the audience or whether you're a guest on the show. That definitely shows that's your aim. That definitely shows.
Thank you.
So you've kind of mentioned some things, and we talked about the glitches a little bit. But as a world builder, what's been, I would say, your most challenging project that you've worked on so far?
Most challenging project. I am working on a kind of like a DJ event right now. That's proven to be pretty challenging. And essentially what is challenging about it is that I want things to move as the DJ moves through the song. And what that means is not just the lights, you know. I'm a huge fan of Disney. So like, you know, growing up, I got to see some cool Disney stuff, where like maybe you were eating dinner in a restaurant and like the restaurant's completely different by the time that you leave, you know, just things like that. So like I'm keeping like all this stuff that I learned from the Disney peeps in my mind. I'm keeping like that whole like that stupid thought, like let's just do that stupid thought kind of thing in my mind, and we're just kind of doing that kind of thing. And so like this next event will be, I don't know if you could imagine a playlist, like song. Like, let's just say you're going to be a part of that playlist in some way or shape or form. And that's where I'm kind of getting hung up, is like, how do I show you what I'm thinking, you know, but not like half-ass it, you know, with just my abilities, so that you're not like, yo, what the fuck was that, Gala, dude? That was kind of weird. I want you to be like, that was awesome, you know, when you leave.
You hear them working on upgrading immersive experiences here in the metaverse. So that's what it's all about.
You heard me tripping over those words. I wasn't trying to tell you too much. I got Jen. Where's Jen? All right, good. Jen's out of here. It's good. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think she may have had to bounce. No. That's all good. So if you could collaborate with any other creator or personality here in VR, who do you think it would be and why?
I want to collaborate. I think I want to collaborate with like an OG, not necessarily a VR, but like just like I grew up listening to people like Uncle Vin. You know, he was one of my first CDs at one point. Yeah, you know, and I would love for somebody like him to see what somebody who listened to his music is now doing as like a reflection of, dude, you know, like, I mean, like, you're not my, like, I'm not like bumping you guys every day, but dude, that's you know, that first song that I ever heard from you guys is like, I played that probably 1,000 times that week, you know, like, and that song took me to places, and that song set a foundation for what I was going to like later, you know, and then where I'm at now, you know. So it's like, I want these guys to see, and I've gotten the ability to show a couple of like, you know, of my like of people I grew up listening to, like, you know, hey, look, you know, without telling them, like, yo, I love your shit, man, you know, like, but like, I want people to see that. I think that's something that the industry has kept them away from forever, you know. Like some of these guys before Spotify thought that they like weren't being listened to anymore because somebody in a suit said that to him. But that dude in the suit didn't know. You know, he just said that.
The dude in the suit didn't listen to him. So yeah,
exactly. He was just trying to bring you down so he could bring his next artist up. But it's like, that's not the case, man. You know, like, it's not. So I don't know. I think it would be cool to work with Vin, you know. Vin, if you're listening to this, I'm not going to fanboy, man. I might be like, yo, you know, maybe once or twice, but like, I think it would be cool to work with someone like that. You know, he was definitely one of my first CDs, and I think that'd be insane.
We talk about that a lot here, actually, on this podcast. When it comes to music artists, trying to get them to see the possibilities in here. I'm going to use an artist as an example, an artist by the name of Cannabis. Cannabis was in here maybe not quite a year ago. Did a performance in here. Nice performance. And I know there was some thoughts on maybe some other projects and stuff in here. But when I talk to people, I consider this. Think of any artist that wanted to do a video, right? You may have had a vision of how you wanted your first video to be, whatever the case may be. And then you went into your record label and you sat down and you talked to them and you say, hey, I got this amazing concept. This video is going to be XYZ. And they say, no, the budget says this. Our vision is this. It's actually going to be ABC. It is nowhere close to your vision. Nowhere close to your vision. I tell people when it comes to these headsets, now you can come here and create your own vision. However you envision your first video or any of your songs going, you can create that experience in here like no other. Like no other.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, when it's time for you to do that, you're in Horizon World. GallaGiant is somebody who I think you should really check out and see when you need those bills. When you need those bills.
Dude, speaking of music video, I was just with the Zen Royals the other day. shout out to Zen Royals, and we shot a music video for the Metaverse, which we'll be releasing Monday. But just to give the listeners out there some perspective, I did a whole music video shoot, made the set, shot it within, I don't know, 2 hours tops, like probably way less than that. I'm just doing 2 hours as like my thing. I told them when they show up, we'll be in and out in like 30, 45 minutes. Probably took me an hour to drop all these things and arrange them the way I wanted to. And then boom, you're in it. That idea you had is done. It doesn't take us a week anymore. It doesn't take us a month anymore. It's insane.
I know of somebody in here. Matter of fact, we'll have them on the show here soon. Shout out to Mr. Waterloo. I've seen where he's had multiple sets. Literally take a day out. Let's knock these videos out. We're on set 1. We're on set 2. We're on set 3, and just make our way down, knocking out multiple videos like nothing in a day. So shout out to him. Shout out to all the creatives, I should say, in here doing their things.
Yeah,
and the future creatives, too, who are on their way in here now, who are just coming in. Welcome, new questers.
Yeah, welcome. We hope to see you everywhere. Let's do this.
Exactly. All right, so let me ask you this question here for the people. What advice would you give to someone who wants to break into hosting events such as the ones that you're doing, or even just people who maybe just want to world build and be on the back end of things? What kind of advice would you give to them to get started?
My advice to you would be do it. If you don't do it in the real world, this is the world to do it in, and make sure that you have an idea and you follow through with it. They give us the ability to make as many things as we want. I haven't run into anything with that said I can't have more than X amount of worlds yet. So it seems unlimited in here. So there is nothing to lose. You really don't have to pay for anything unless you're looking to skip a couple steps to something more, more crazy. But for the most part, everyone can do this. That's the way they designed it. So you have no excuse to not do it. There's no money. There's none of that involved. So it's just your time. Oh, you don't have time? Get up early. Oh, you don't have time? Stay up late. All right. Do it.
Only thing stopping you is you. Only thing stopping you is you.
Oh, you're so busy. Oh, yeah. You know who's busy? People that don't say they're busy. People who don't say they're busy. You know who's not busy? People that say they're busy.
Yeah. I think I've read into some of those same people myself. I do believe it, Mike. So,
why are you trying to sell this to me? I'm busy too. Everybody's busy.
Hey, one less TV show, one less whatever. You can make it work if you really wanted to. So
yeah, exactly. But if you don't want to do any of that, you can come towards me or DJ Marcus. We got stuff for you to do. If you want to be a host, I'll throw you in front of some people. We'll have to check you out first, of course. But I work with, we don't need you to be a pro. If you think you can do it, that's probably enough. Let's see it.
VR is an amazing practice ground. You can at least see if it's something you want to do. You may have an interest. You may try to say, you know what? Yeah, I think that's not quite me. Yeah, or you never know. You may find a hidden interest that you never even knew you had. Yeah,
exactly. Fuck. I mean, everyone's brain's different. That's why I show everyone I can this, because I want to hear what they say. I'm not the smartest dude in the room, and I doubt anyone, you know what I mean? It's let's hear what everyone's thinking. This is so new,
We're all learning.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience. If you haven't already, time for you to go ahead and come on in here. Before we get up out of here, GallaGiant, is there anything you want to tell the people about yourself? Anything you got going on currently? Maybe anything upcoming, whatever the case may be.
I would like to say that you're going to see me dancing a lot on the internet, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some shit I would never do in the real world here. And that is tons of dancing on Instagram. So my avatar will get down on the internet.
Always over fantasies.
Don't you read that in some stupid ass way. That's just me making content the best way I can. I look at my videos sometimes. I'm like, man, I'm that guy. Whatever.
Yeah, you see videos of his avatar all over the place dancing. So that is pretty cool. Keep doing those. Keep doing those.
I wish I had more to
Yeah,
say.
keep doing those though. That's definitely your brand. So yeah, keep doing those. That's what's up.
Thank you.
Well, anything else you got upcoming, and also let the people know how they can reach you.
So I got this Comedy World coming. We'll release it in January. DJ Marcus is going to be a part of it. He doesn't know, but he has no choice as well. And it's going to be Saturday Night Live-ish meets a couple other shows that we all grew up watching. And we threw our ideas into AI and saw what came back, and we're gonna do some funny things, I think. And it's been pretty simple so far. Everyone I've showed the world to is excited about it. I got a pretty dope cast, building up right now for the first couple episodes. So it's gonna be our first stab at a funny little club, and it's gonna be dope, and it's gonna be unlike anything else that anyone's doing in here yet. So,
well, looking forward to it. You heard January. Less than a month away. January. Yeah. Something new here at Horizon World.
And look me up on all socials, GallaGiant. I'm on the Instagram. I'm on all those other things too, but Instagram, Facebook is a good way to get me. I'm in my upper 30s. I don't really Twitch yet. I don't really do those other things yet. I'm trying.
He's trying. You heard him. He's trying.
I'm like, oh God, they gave us TypeScript. Like, oh fuck, okay, I gotta get up early tomorrow. Like, what the fuck is TypeScript?
So one more thing to learn. Shout out to all the scripters out here in Horizon. Yeah, that's one more thing. One more thing to learn. Wow.
I know. I can barely punctuate. Now I gotta punctuate we'll get there.
Exactly. A script here now. It's like, wow, wait, I can't just type whatever I want in here? That doesn't work? Wow. You forgot a parenthesis. So, but anyway.
It's like where?
Like where? Exactly. Where?
There's 1,000 of them.
Yeah, that's a whole nother journey on its own. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, GallaGiant fam, I want to thank you for coming through and sitting down with us here on the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. Again, we just want to let the people out there know some of the stuff that we do here in VR, why we do it, and why we think you should be able to do it too. So, again, I want to thank you for sitting down with us, fam. More amazing things coming from you. I can't wait to see what 2025 holds from you. So, and I definitely can't wait to January to see this new world he got coming out, this new experience coming out. So again, fam, thank you for coming to the show. My name is DJ Marcus J, a.k.a. Mr. Block Party, and we are out. Be safe. Peace. Okay. They're like, why? Okay, there it goes. There's the confetti. The first time it didn't move at all. Like, why is he waving his hands in the air?
Maybe
something we do over here in Horizon.
Maybe exactly. The studio dirty.
I need to reload my confetti, apparently. Peace. All right, there we go. What up, everybody? This is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party. And I'm here for another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast.